Hi everybody, Dan Illman here, taking a look at the Stronach 5 sequence for Friday, February the 21st. The Stronach 5, of course, is a pick 5 wager, a $1 minimum wager at that, low 12% takeout. There's going to be a guaranteed gross pool of $100,000 in this Friday's Stronach 5, and there's a 100% carryover potential in the Stronach 5 wager. Let's kick things off with the final race at Laurel Park on Friday, leg A of this week's Stronach 5. It is a $5,000 beaten claimer going a one-turn mile at Laurel. Caladan, the number 5, is the morning line favorite. I'm going to try to beat him. As always on these Stronach 5 videos, I'm going to give you some of my early opinions, pre-scratches, program changes, track conditions, etc. And when it's time for you to finalize your opinions, I would urge you to try DRF Bet's Ticket Maker, available in Formulator, also available on DRF.com. It's the most efficient way to play your multiple race wagers utilizing Steve Christ's A, B, and C method. Again, I'm going to try to beat Caladan, the morning line favorite. I'm going to try to use 3 horses in this race. Early pace is going to be the key in here, especially for a one-run closer like Sir Douglas, the number 8, who's my top pick in here. Sir Douglas got a pace and a trip last time out at this level on January the 30th. They went fast early. He was able to save ground on the far turn, split horses in the upper stretch, and he finished well. Give him that kind of pace, and he can come with a similar effort. If the pace is slow, he will obviously be compromised. But I think he showed enough in that race that he deserves consideration in here, and there is a stretch-out sprinter down on the rail named Battle Ready that could at least provide some fair fractions for that closer. And I think Battle Ready is a horse that you might want to consider just in the case that he is able to shake loose. He is stretching out from 5.5 furlongs to a mile and drawing the inside. He is going to show speed, first off the Jonathan Maldonado claim. Now, the last time he went a one-turn mile at Laurel, he completely missed the break. That is a race you're just supposed to throw out. The time before that he raced over a one-turn mile at Laurel was April the 12th, 2019. He went gate to wire that day. The distance isn't an issue when he can get to the front. He broke from the rail that day. He breaks from the rail here. I think Alex Cintron's going to show speed with Battle Ready. He finished just behind a horse named Midnight Cry last time out, and that horse came back to win with a 72 Beyer speed figure. Unequivocal is a horse that I think I'm going to use as well, the number 7. Unequivocal attracts Jorge Ruiz, who is named on both Unequivocal and Seabray. On the overnight, he lands on the 7 in here. This horse just showed surprising speed last time out. It was a great ride by Ruiz, realizing that there wasn't a lot of pace signed on paper. He went for it early, and he made those horses pay. He might be better on a wet track. That is something to consider. He is now in the Wayne Potts barn, and I think with that newfound speed that he showed last time out, that he could be tactical, and maybe he can sit second or third off of Battle Ready. I think Sir Douglas would benefit if the 7 and the 1 hook up early. I'm going to use him. I'm going to use Battle Ready because I think he's the best of the speeds, and I also want to use the 7, who I think is getting good right now at the right time and might have shown a new dimension in his most recent start. We go to Gulfstream Park for the second leg of this 5-bagger, the Stronach 5 on Friday, and I'm going to key on 2 horses in here as A's and then use a big-priced horse as a backup. I think the 3 and the 4, Here Comes Jackie and Trilby, coming out of the same race, seem like very logical contenders. Trilby finished ahead of 3 of these common foes, including Here Comes Jackie in her most recent start. She won that race. She has now won 2 in a row. She has been claimed out of her last 2 races. She has excellent tactical speed. I think another good trip is coming for her in here. She just seems very logical coming out of that starter 16 and right back in this condition. Edgar Prado takes the mount. The 3 horse Here Comes Jackie was the beaten favorite that day, the beaten favorite actually in her last 3 races, but she's got tactical speed and she's very adaptable. Javier Castellano put her on the lead last time out. It took Trilby to run her down late. I wonder if she's slightly more effective from off of the pace, and there are other pace horses in this race that might make targets for Here Comes Jackie. And I like Here Comes Jackie a little bit better when she has a target or 2 instead of being the target with the bullseye on her back. So Trilby is sharp. She fits at this level. She has tactical speed. Here Comes Jackie has back figures, has won at Saratoga over the summer. She classes up very well with these horses and might get a different situation. But if you don't like the race that those 2 are coming out of, please consider the 7 Valley Date as a backup at the very least. She's 12-1 on the morning line, and the last time she raced on turf, she won going 7.5 furlongs for trainer Michael Maker. She ran on dirt last time out. I don't really think that worked out for her. She didn't have a very good trip, and I just think at this point in her career, she might be a better horse on the turf. Valley Date would benefit if this pace falls apart in the end. She's been given a couple of months for her barn, who does very well off this kind of a layoff. She's one to consider at a price perhaps as a backup in your Stronach 5. Let's head out west to Golden Gate Fields, 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta for leg C. It's an $8,000 beaten claiming race, and maybe I'm making a mistake and trying to beat the 1 going away Party. His merits seem obvious on paper. He earned a Beyer speed figure greater than par for this level 2 starts back when winning, and then was just placed too high for $20,000 last time out. He's dropping to 8. He has speed. I just am not sure he has such a tremendous edge on this field that I want to take him at either a short price on the win end or even in the Stronach 5. So I'm going to use some others. King Eddie, to me, I think is very interesting as a drop-down for trainer Steve Miotti, who's winning at 35% at this meet. King Eddie's returned off of a layoff and hasn't done much running in 2 starts, 1 on dirt, 1 on turf. Now King Eddie returns to synthetic, and while he's only 1 for 10 lifetime on synthetic, he's hit the board in 80% of his races, and he does have a good amount of early speed. Turning back in distance, I don't expect him to make the lead, but I think he can sit 2nd and 3rd off of Going Away Party, and if he can summon up some of his back class, I think the King Eddie is going to be making a strong run. The 3 Alsmere is another horse that I want to consider instead of the favorite. Alsmere is an 11-time winner and just a hard-hitting 9-year-old gelding. Last time out, he didn't break very well. He was put behind the 8 ball. He came with a strong run, and he finished 3rd, directly behind a next out winner. He earned a figure 3 starts back that would be very competitive with this field. And it doesn't look like he has speed because of the last race. Throw it out. He has tactical speed. He just needs to get out of the gate. The 5 Mirror Image is a horse I might want to consider as a deep backup in here, because this is another horse not only dropping in class, but double dropping out of the open 12-5 level, where he was only beaten 2 lengths. I think he's getting good at the right time. His prior start 2 back for the 4,000 starter was solid. I think he exceeded expectations at 12-1 when 4th last time out. He has finished in the exacta in 19 of 43 starts, and Mirror Image I think is another alternative to the favorite. We'll try to beat Going Away Party with the 6, 3, and 5. We'll go to Santa Anita. I want to spread early in the Stronach 5 sequence because I think I've got keys later in the sequence, especially in legs D and E, beginning with leg D at Santa Anita. I'm going to be keying most of my play on Promnesia, who's adding blinkers for trainer Reed Saldana. This mare just did not have a trip last time out. It was her 3rd start off a little bit of a layoff. I think she is rounding herself back into shape. She was down inside. She had nowhere to go. She had to alter course in between horses. She finished okay. She galloped out well. She's now getting blinkers. I think that she has what it takes to sit a stalking trip with the blinkers on, or even sit up closer to the pace and make a run while in the clear. That last race, she had some trouble. She had consistent figures before that. She's my top selection. Daddy's Melody, Laker Jet, these are horses to consider as backup. Daddy's Melody, blinkers off last time out. Kind of an even performance against Queen Carmelita and Promisita. She was wide that day. Maybe you could say that that worked against her, but she's 1 for 15 lifetime, and her only win came on a wet track. And as for Laker Jet, this is a filly that's just had her chances. She was no match for the aforementioned 3 in her most recent start. You have to go back to that one race at Los Alamitos where she looked very good winning with the 70 Beyer, but she's a bit of a reach in a race that might not have some pace. So Promnesia is the one I'm going to be keying most of my play on in leg D. We'll close things out with race number 10 at Gulfstream Park. It's a mile on the turf. It's a maiden claimer, and I think the 4 Casseri is the horse they all have to beat, and perhaps they all have to catch and beat. Casseri is adding blinkers for her 2nd start of the year for Marcassi. She just finished ahead of 4 of these horses last time out, and she projects as the controlling speed in this race. Casseri last time out was very eager in between horses. It was her 1st start off the layoff, and she showed fresh speed. She ended up tracking the pace. She attacked on the turn, made the front, and you could tell that she's a little green. Her ears came up once she made the lead. It was almost as if she didn't know what to do next, and then she finished 3rd. The blinkers, I think, will get her focused. I think it will sharpen her speed, and I think Casseri is going to be very tough again to catch and beat 7-2 on the morning line. My backup would be the 1 Gia, simply because it's a rider switch here to Irad Ortiz Jr., and she has slowly gotten better in her last 2 starts on turf. She's going to need to be a little bit closer to the pace, but I think that's what Irad's here for, to try to motivate her early and save valuable ground with a short run going into the first turn. So there you have it, this week's Stronach 5 sequence. Remember to use DRF Bet's ticket maker for all of your plays. The action starts with race number 8 at Laurel Park on Friday. It's a 1-turn, 1-mile race and has an approximate post time of 3:50 Eastern. Good luck.